Domonique, good morning, and I'll start with you. When you first heard this news yesterday, what was the first thought that went to your head?
I mean, I know that it might be a little bit over dramatic to say that there's a problem in Patriotsville, but that's the first thing that went through my mind. Was it's interesting that at one point there was speculation that the Patriots were trying to trade Gronk to Detroit, and Gronk threatened to retire, and then he came back and played that final season, and then he actually retires, and the thing that brings him back is an opportunity to play with Tom Brady elsewhere. Like that, it's hard for me not to look at the Patriots and wonder why he didn't want to continue playing there. And it makes you think about what he's experienced there with Bill Belichick. And I know they won a lot, and I'm sure none of them would change anything. But it seems clear that both Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski wanted a break from playing football up there, not necessarily a break from playing football.
Yeah, I think a lot of people see it that way. Mike T., let's focus on what happens now. Let's focus on what your expectations are for Gronkowski and Brady together in Tampa.
Well, it's a good offense that becomes even better, and here's why. As Rex alluded to earlier, facing Gronkowski for so many years, when you're in the red zone, the first checkbox is going to be, how do we stop Gronk in the red zone? So he's going to get double teamed. You have Mike Evans, who's a very physical receiver. You have to double team him. They are going to create so much production for the other Tampa Bay players. I think they're unstoppable in the red zone. I really do. And now you think about the force multiplier of the Tom Brady acquisition. They play on grass. They practice on grass. Tampa Bay is a tax-free state. There will be countless other players that will want to sign one-year deals below what they're usually making for a reasonable chance to go win a Super Bowl. So I think this helps them immeasurably.
So the red zone, Rex referred to this as a guy who will not necessarily be an every down player. Neek, as you watch him, as a guy who once upon a time would have to have covered him, what do you see in him physically when last he was on a football field? What do you expect he has left?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to jump to the extremes that everyone else is jumping to and thinking that they're going to automatically be so great, because when we last saw him, he wasn't moving around all that well. And I can't assume that just dropping him in a new situation, and because he has the familiarity with Tom Brady, that all of a sudden he's going to go back to the old Gronk. I hope no one thinks that he's going to be peak Gronk. He wasn't peak Gronk when he left. In a year away from football, it's going to take a while to get back into the type of shape and be comfortable with getting hit that way. So I'm not sure what Gronk we're going to see. I certainly don't think their team has gotten any worse. His ability to block hasn't gotten any worse, but we can't expect him to walk out there and just be the Rob Gronkowski that we all remember. And we've seen these kind of super team things happen in the past, and they so rarely work out. I know that Rob Gronkowski and Tom Brady are very different from, I guess, the Browns from last year and the Eagles back when they did their dream team thing. But I do think we need to pump the brakes a little bit from going from Tom Brady, who wasn't at his best last year, and Gronk, who didn't even play last year, to now saying that this is going to be an unstoppable red zone offense.
That's an interesting thought. Mike T., how much better do you think the Buccaneers are right now than they were 24 hours ago?
Exponentially better, because I understand what Nick is saying in terms of he's not going to be the same guy, but the 20 or 30 most consequential plays, he'll be on the field. And we have spent a lot of time in the offseason trying to defend Gronk because he's so hard. You have to double team him. So again, he's going to create production for others. He doesn't have to be the same Gronk to be impactful. And oh, by the way, they have another good tight end in Cam Brate, and that's even assuming that they trade O.J. Howard, a former first-round pick. So the diversity of the Tampa Bay offense will be really hard to defend, especially in the red zone.
Neek, what's the team to beat in the NFC South?
I'm still going to stick with the Saints. The Saints have been doing it for a long time, and their team, you look at that roster, there are no real holes in that roster. That team has come back from kind of unimaginable disappointment in multiple seasons and still been competitive. I think Drew Brees is definitely on the downhill part of his career, but so is Tom Brady. So I'm going to stick with the Saints for now until we see the Bucs go out there and actually do it.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.